Hello and good morning. You're watching Markets Today. I'm Sakshi Batra, and on this edition, we discuss all about stock markets. How have they opened, and what is the kind of trade that you're witnessing in the early action? Where are the gains and the losses being seen, and what are the triggers that stock markets will be tracking all through the day today? So let's start off with the opening levels today. First of all, the Sensex and Nifty both have managed to open higher, although there's slight volatility in the early action, but definitely that's a positive that we've started in the green. 142 points up for the Sensex, about 0.25% higher at 53,566. Nifty was also up by 41 odd points, or 0.2% higher at 16,055. The gains are being seen building on at this point in time as well. As right now, the Sensex is up over 300 points in trade. About 1,500 shares are advancing in the early action. About 300 shares are seen declining, whereas 60 shares remain unchanged in the early action. Talk about some specific stocks as well. Titan, Indices Bank, Infosys, BPCL, Adani Ports. These are among the top major gainers on the Nifty. On the losing side, you do have the likes of Eicher Motors, Asian Paints, Kotak Mahindra Bank, ICICI Bank, SBI Life as the drag factors on the Nifty. So the large banks, some auto companies, as well as paint companies, which are seeing an impact of the rise in crude oil prices. Those are the biggest laggards on the Nifty in the early action as well. As far as the experts are concerned, technical experts believe that the biggest support for the Nifty at this point in time is 15,761. However, if the Nifty continues to move higher and manages to close above 16,800, then we could actually see the Nifty moving higher in a positive direction for a longer period of time. So that is something that most of the experts are looking at. They're also saying that despite the persistent FII selling, bears are likely to take a breather because of the slight better market mood prevailing amidst the extreme oversold conditions that you've seen for the past many sessions as well. So some breather for the bulls at this point in time. They're back on the street, and that's a relief for most of the investors at this point in time. Now, apart from this, we do know that the FIIs have been continuously selling. Over 8,142 crore rupees worth of shares were sold even yesterday. For the DIIs, however, they compensated some of the loss by buying 6,489 crores worth of shares in the Indian markets yesterday. Apart from this, of course, there's a whole lot of focus today on the airline stocks. The news flow is such that the government will restart regular international flight operations starting March 27, and that's something that is keeping all the airline stocks quite buoyant at this point in time. Indigo took off very, very sharply in the early action, about 7.5% higher. SpiceJet was up 5% as well, cheering on the normalcy returning after the COVID-19 pandemic. For the very first time, regular international operations are being talked of, starting March 27. Apart from this, we do see some of the other pockets that will be in focus. Say, for example, consumption stocks will be under pressure because Jeffries believes that inflation and the sluggish rural demand at this point in time may deter Indian consumer industry, and the sharp price rise that you can anticipate, keeping in mind the rise in crude oil prices, which could trickle in into the petrol and diesel prices very, very soon. That's something that most of the brokerage houses are also looking at this point in time. Overall speaking, the market mood somewhat remains, in a relief rally mode. But how long does this relief rally sustain is something that is again a big question, because we do not know in this uncertain environment, as the Ukraine-Russia war is still continuing into its 13th, 14th day, and we do not know how much longer will this situation prevail, and what kind of an impact could this really have on the global economy, and how long could that impact also persist. That is something that most of the economists are really looking to analyze at this point in time. But for now, for traders, again, difficult times, and you need to track the markets very, very closely, and your stop losses very, very closely, and trade with a lot of caution. For investors, of course, these dips are making many, a lot of valuations quite attractive, and one could look at, definitely buying into the stocks at this point in time because of the kind of attractive valuations, because of this correction that we have got to see as well. Overall, the market mood I will continue to track it and keep getting you all the updates on the buzz factors on the D Street. So do stay tuned with us onto Business Today. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also, if you found this video informative, then definitely give a thumbs up and like this video as well. Thanks a lot for tuning in. For now.